Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to look at doing an October spread, and I am actually going to be using my plans by just Scribble, and we're going to do a spread in here. The reason is because in my day-to-day Sterling ink, I have actually done quite a bit of the month of October, and I don't want to start you guys mid-plan. So if we look at the just Scribble here, I have got nothing. So we're going to start from scratch and we're going to build out October. Now, in the just Scribble, we do also have this extra page that you don't always get. And I'm going to make use of this page. So we'll do that second. We're going to start here with this. One of the things that I like to do if I don't have a kit, so for example, in here I had a kit that I used and for the decor around the edges, but we're going to do this without a kit. So I'm actually going to use a washi here. Trying to think which one I want to start with. Let's start with this. I have pulled out some washis. We're going to do everything in a kind of purple and gray theme. So I've pulled out some Tombows. I have some Zig dot markers. And then we have some Halloween style washi in purples and grays that we're going to use. So we're going to start with this Every Minute a Story washi here, this purple one. And I am just going to cover up these 2 days at the top and the 2 days at the bottom. These are the days that are not part of October, but they do show up on this calendar. So for those of you who are not used to using a lot of decor, this is a good way to kind of start placing decor because it really doesn't interfere with anything else that you've got going on. It just kind of covers up the parts of the month that you aren't normally going to use. So we're just gonna right there, and we're not going to worry about the fact that we're cutting this little guy off. We are just going to start with that, and that'll give us a really, really cute beginning and also let us know when the month starts and ends very, very clearly. So for one of the first things that I want to do, I'm going to actually put a code down here on the bottom of what I am using so that I can keep it straight. So we're going to use this purple Zig dot marker. And the color, the official color on this is hyacinth, but it's the purple one. And we're going to do YouTube videos here. So that way I don't have to write YouTube every single time, right? So every Sunday morning we do a plan with me live here on the channel. So if you haven't joined for that, I would love to have you guys join. So we are going to put plan with me live. I'm not going to put a time in here because I have been doing it. I did it this week at 9:30, and I'm planning to continue that, but we will see how that goes. So we're just going to put not a lot of detail about this, but we're just going to get it started in here. And then we are going to put one on every Friday. So we're going to have 5 of those in October. And we're going to put, this is going to be 9 weeks that I've been on YouTube. And this will be 10 weeks. I just finished my 7 weeks video, so I will include that up here in the cards. If you guys are interested in kind of hearing me talk about what I learn each week on YouTube. But we are going to make it through 13 weeks. Oops. Here by the end. So those are our YouTube videos. That is something that I already had in here. So I had put those in pink, and then I do want to do a 2 months analysis or analytics check-in. So we will put 2-month analytics. And by using this dot marker, that gives me somewhere that I can check off once I've done those. Now, these particular videos I film on that day. So those are the videos that, I can't make those ahead of time. I do, however, think I want to continue making a daily video. So I'm going to think about that, and I might use that previous page for that. Let's go ahead and put in some holidays, dates, things like that. We're going to take the, I believe this is 603 in the Tombows, and we are going to mark in some of our special days, and I'll do those on the top here. So that's going to be Halloween. We have a new moon on the 21st. We have a full moon on the 6th. And I usually like to write what the moon is. So we're going to give it a full two rows there. And let's do the 15th. We have a birthday, and I think that's everything. You know what? I'm going to also add in 2 here. And I'll show you why in just a second. All right. So this is going to be the full Hunter's Moon. This is Jimmy's birthday. This is the new moon. And the reason I'm going in this order and not doing this first is because I want to give this a minute to dry, because otherwise it sometimes feathers. And this is, I want a full box for this. This is Halloween Samhain. Okay, so it may feather a little bit here. And then this is Inktober Begins. I like to try and participate in Inktober. I don't always get to do that. Sometimes I'm a little bit too busy with work, but I really do like when I get the opportunity to do that. We are going to go ahead and use this for our other scheduled things in here in the month of October that are not YouTube related. So these are, this is going to be timed events. And I'm going to go ahead and put in that, and then on the third from the last, we'll put in a smaller dot there. So what we have here is, this is going to be my conversation with my friend Kim. We talk every week. And it's usually at 4, but what I will do is I will put the time in the little circle the week before. And that way, if I have to change anything, it's a lot easier to change. I know when that call happens, so I really don't necessarily need to have a time in there. Same with over here. This is date night, so I'm just going to put date a bit larger. All right. And let us open up. I have my Google Calendar that I'm going to have open up here on the screen. I like to always check that at the beginning of the month and see what I might have on the calendar. If there's anything in particular that I need to do. I am going to mark in over here when the Colts games are that my partner likes to watch. So I will say 12. We have the Colts. I do not need a dot or anything because I'm not expected to do anything with that. I just need to make sure that I'm aware that that's existing. So I think for right now, that is the my main first week here. And let's go to our second week. I think that's everything on the second week. The game is again at 12. And I'm leaving a little space in here on the off chance that I have an event that happens between the plan with me and the game. But it also gives a little bit of breathing room there. Okay, so here it's at 3. It's actually at 3:05, but I am just going to write that it's at 3 because I don't need to be that specific. And here it's at 3:30. All right. Now, we have on the 30th, and I'm going to put 2 dots here because this is going to be 6 to 8 Silent Book Club. If you were on my live plan with me this Sunday, I talked a little bit about what Silent Book Club is. So if you're interested in that, I will link the plan with me up here in the corner. And then I do have here. This is a chat with my friends Valerie and Susie. And that's at 9. All right. So I think those are my main things. So one of the other things that I like to do on here is I like, and this is fairly new to me, Haven't done it for a long time, but I did recently start doing it and really have enjoyed it. Doing the maybe items here on the side. So we're going to go ahead and add in our maybes. Let's take this dark color and just say maybe here. This dark purple. All right. So I'm going to go to on my computer here. So I have the computer in front of me. You guys can't see the computer, but I'll tell you what I'm looking at whenever I'm looking up at it. So I did use it a little bit to just go through and check my Google Calendar. And now we are going to go to my events in Facebook. So I usually will mark all the events that seem interesting to me. And we will decide on those days, like on those weekends especially, what we want to do at the time based on the weather and what else we have going on and if we got invited to anything. And so I don't like to plan too much ahead of time. So we'll go through and we'll fill in some of the things that might be possibilities here coming up in October. So on the 2nd, we have an author event, and that is Allison. I'd like to go to these if I can. Allison Kundiff. I may be horribly pronouncing that. I doubt Allison's watching, but if you are, apologies. Right now, that's the only one I have here in this, except for the Ren Fair is going on the weekend. And actually, I need to... look here. We have the St. Louis Ren Fair going on all of the month of October. So I'm going to put that in all of the month of October. And we haven't gone to that yet, so I'm sure we're going to pick a weekend and head out that way. It's not too far from us for the St. Louis one. And then the week of the 18th and 19th, we have the Central Missouri Ren Fair as well. So this weekend may be Ren Fair weekend, and maybe we'll go to one on Saturday and then stay overnight somewhere and go to the other on Sunday. If we do that, I'll have to take all my stuff with me and we'll do a plan with me in the hotel. But we'll have to see how that works. I don't want to assume that we're going to be spending a lot of extra money on things this week. So let's see. We have on the 6th, there is trivia night. On the 11th, I have a book club listed. Which one is that? It's the St. Louis Ladies Over 40. I try to make sure that I have kind of fun things to do as options. Even if we don't end up doing them, it's always nice to, kind of know what's happening around town and what we could be doing if we want to get out. Um, let's see. There's a lot going on this weekend of the 11th. We have Kimswick. We have the Witches Night Out. I know what that stands for. We have a Festus Street Fest. And Crown Cupboard. Okay. Let's move on to this next week. On the 13th, there is trivia. While I'm doing this, so there's trivia a lot of times, but also I'm going to do a little post-it. And I've got these cute little Halloween themed post-its. So which one should we do? Let's do this little spider web one here. There is trivia at our local movie theater on Wednesdays. So this post-it note sticker, I did this in my September right here. There's bingo on Wednesdays from 6 to 8. So I am going to put, this is bingo at Marcus Theater. And that is Wednesdays from 6 to 8. So I'm going to put this here, and then whenever I want to put it on a Wednesday, I can move it over to that Wednesday, and I'll know that that is happening on that Wednesday. I'll move it down just a little bit here. These little post-it note stickers are absolutely adorable. It is a post-it note, so it is, re-stickable. Obviously, it's not sticking very well to the washi, but it is so cute to have a little post-it note sticker of a post-it note. So let's get back to, we had trivia night. We have 17th to 18th, there is an Oktoberfest. We're going to spell Oktoberfest correctly. The 17th, we have Afton has a Witches Night Out. Witches Night Out just tends to be like a little, kind of like an Oktoberfest, but with a witchy theme to it. On the 18th, we have, I don't think we're going to actually paddleboard this, but I would like to see this. This is Witches on the Water. And this is an event where a bunch of people dress up in witch costumes and paddleboard. And we like to go paddleboarding. I don't think that we're going to be going to actually paddleboard, but it would be kind of fun to see. And on the 18th, we have Hooligan Street Party. you'll see me kind of scrunching things up. I really only want it to take one line per item. I can look these things up on YouTube or on Facebook if I need to. So I'm not really worried about being hugely specific. On the 20th, we have trivia. And then I did kind of want to see if there were tickets for Indigo Girls on the 22nd. I think that would be a fun concert if there's still tickets. On the weekend, we have an Apple Fest in Kimswick. And the 27th, we have another trivia night. I think right now that is all I have in my Facebook for October. And as new events come up, I'll add them here. Right now they're all in order by the day of the, by the date, but they might not be. I can look at this as a whole each week, and that's fine. I am going to add a little bit more decoration. Down here by book club, we're going to put some book washi, just because it's cute. So I think I'll cut that off here. And let's see, I would like to get a little bit of this in, again, just because it's cute, and I don't always get an opportunity to use all of this. So maybe just a little sample of it right there. All right. So that is what we're going to do for this monthly page. Again, as things come up, I will add them in. But I want to kind of look at this page. I haven't dealt with a page like this other than in theory. I haven't really done it for, kind of what we're actually doing. So I think I'm going to take my little Coffee Monsters Halloween washi, and we are going to, there's little breaks in these top 3 boxes, so I'm actually going to honor those breaks with the washi. So we're going to break the washi and then take it right into that next box there. Do that again right here, and come into this next box. And this is just kind of, I don't really necessarily know what I want in this, in these 3 boxes, but this will kind of keep it separate from what I think I know I want to do down here. So what I would like to do down here is kind of track my YouTube posts for the month. So I have kind of thought about this ahead of time. I have marked off 31 spaces here. So I'm going to start right here with number 1, and we are just going to do the dates 1 through 31. So right now we're just putting all these dates in. And then almost done. 29, 30, and 31. All right, we are going to, so after the 5th and then the 12th, we're going to put a line. And in this case, I'm going to use my zig dot, the thin side of that for this line. Sometimes I get out, I have a separate gray Stadler, but since I've got this out already, I'm going to go ahead and just work with this. So the 12th, I would imagine it would be the 19th, but I'm not going to trust myself on that. 19th and 26th. So we are going to get those lines in for our weeks. This way I kind of have an idea of, you know, what day of the week we're talking about. And in fact, I'm actually going to write those in. So we start on Wednesday. So we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Because that's helpful in terms of my YouTube planning. Because I do have some of those standing, like Plan With Me lives and the weekly check-ins and things like that. Almost done. Okay. Now I'm going to take the ruler and a black micron, and we'll just put a line here. And we'll write, I'm going to put a line across the top as well so that I know where I stop. All right. So there are a lot of things that go into posting a video. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to block off, say, 7 spaces, maybe to right here. And then another, well, we'll see how many spaces we end up with. I was looking at all of the different components to creating a video, and I don't know that I want to check all of them here. But I want to kind of track the progress of a video because I want to be able to do some of the videos ahead of time. Apparently, one of the things that I learned that I'll talk about in the YouTube lessons I'm learning on Monday the 22nd, so I'll link that video here. One of the things that I'll talk about is the fact that there are some YouTube strategies I've learned, and one of them is that YouTube likes to see your videos up on the platform at least 24 hours before they go public. And that way YouTube can start selecting your audience ahead of time. Now, I have not had videos filmed early enough very often to do that, but the couple times that I have done that, I have seen an improvement in engagement, both initial engagement and long-term engagement. So I think it is that's important. So let's see. I am going to start figuring out the end of how these videos work. So I want this chart to be a chart, I guess where I was going with all of that. I want this to be a way to see the video progress from beginning to end. And so that's kind of my thought process on this. So I want to, at the end here, I'm going to use my fountain pen again. The very last thing I do is I store the files. And I store them by name and date and everything. So that is part of the process. See, when the video drops, I answer comments on all videos. So I'm always here in the comment section when the video drops, because I do come to pin a comment. And I watch and like the video. I didn't do that in the beginning. I didn't watch and like my own videos, and you should definitely do that if you start a channel. Just a little something to know. So that is once the video drops. So I'm going to go ahead, and the storage part is the very last one. So by the time I store it, I am done with the video. And then this section is our when the video drops. And then the next section is going to be the preparation on YouTube. So the very last thing I do when I upload is the end screen and the cards. If you're not familiar with YouTube, when I point up here and I tell you that something is going to show up here, that is the cards. And then the end screen is that little thing at the end that tells you what I think you might want to watch next after you've seen this particular video. I am going to put post scheduled. And the video scheduled. So one of the other things I learned was to make an announcement post. And so I want to make sure that I am scheduling that right after the video posts. And I always add a description. And I add a title. So I have to create all of these things, and I add a thumbnail. These are all part of the upload to YouTube process. Oh, and I do have to upload the video. So I upload the video, and then I have to change the title, the thumbnail, the description. I have to schedule when that video is going to arrive. That I have to write a post and schedule that. And then I have to, once that video finally finishes uploading, then I can add the end screen and cards. I can't do that until that video upload is complete. So that is all part of the uploading process for each video. So I want to have this, again, if I'm going to be doing things ahead of time, I want to know where I am in the process. And then I have 4 more that I want to put in here. I want to put in edit because I do want to get to the point where I can edit some of my videos. Film, script. So I'm working backwards, so this is a little bit challenging. And then idea. Okay. So this will help me work my way through video production. When you watch videos on YouTube and they look like they're really quick and easy, there's a lot more to it than you might think. So I'm going to put, this is the day. So I'm using the wrong pen again. I like this because it's a bit bolder. So day. This is a short video. This is a full length video. Okay, so that is how I plan to use this page. So I'm going to fill in a little bit of this so that we can see what this is. So this is going to be, let's see, every Friday we have our check-in. So, well, let's see. First, on the first of the month, I want to do 2-month analytics. Now I already have that idea. So I don't need an idea for that. On Friday, we have 9 weeks. Again, I already have that. I am definitely going to consider edits for those. On here, we have, this is a Plan With Me live. And this is week 41. And I have the idea, obviously, I am not going to script this and I am not going to edit this. So I'm going to draw lines through both of those. And I'm going to draw a line through film as well because I'm going to film and upload at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that. And so let's go through and do really quick. We have 10 weeks on YouTube. And that doesn't get filmed. And then we have a Plan With Me live week 42. So you see how we're doing this here? And then this will also be like this. 11 weeks on YouTube. A Plan With Me live. Week 43. And 12 weeks on YouTube. Plan With Me live. Week 44. And this is going to be the same every week, which this gives me a great structure now to fill in the other ideas that I have. And so as I have ideas, I can certainly fill them in and give them a spot within this framework. So we also have some shorts, and I am going to actually use the purple for shorts because I want a checkbox for whether I've uploaded them or not. So first of all, every Tuesday, I am uploading an art short. So I'm going to write art. And that is one of those time-lapse art pieces. Now I have some that I have already done, so if I select one of those, then I can write it in here. Otherwise, as I do them, I can fill them in and I can get them scheduled. I think I liked, oh wait, that's Thursday, that's not Tuesday. So for the first time, we're going to get out this, but I am going to do I'm not going to do a Thursday post, I don't think. I think I'm going to do Friday. I like having some shorts because I feel like YouTube does kind of reward creators that use all of their platform. And so I've noticed that I do get a little boost in my viewership on days that I post shorts. So we are going to do one on the Fridays, and that is going to be a washi selection. So I'm just going to put washi select. This is the day that I will select my washi for that coming week, Plan With Me Live. And that'll help advertise the Plan With Me Live. And oops, we didn't get this Friday. And it will give you guys an idea of what's coming. So we'll have markers selected, the markers selected, we'll have a washi selected, and that way if you guys want to plan along with me and you want to have the same supplies, you can go and find your supplies ahead of time. So we'll do that, and then I would like to add in right before the end of the month, we are going to have the November to be read. So I'm going to do a short that shows what I'm going to read for the next month. Since you guys seem to enjoy the Magical Readathon videos, I thought that would just kind of help keep you guys up to date on what I'm reading throughout the year. But other than Magical Readathon month, I don't necessarily have enough reading to necessarily do a whole video on that. So we'll do the to be read list as a short, and that'll come out right before the month. Now I am going to, let's see, I have these little Post-its, and I've been looking for a reason to use these. So I'm going to go ahead and get one of these, and I would like to see. So I'm going to put in monthly videos. I have a couple that I like to do, so I'm going to need to do, and I'm going to give us little things to check off here when I put them on. We'll do a November month setup. And early in the month, we'll want to do a September reading wrap up. But this will be a nice little post-it where I can put some ideas that I have that I haven't yet scheduled because I don't know exactly when I want to have those happen. But I do know that I would like them to happen. So this just gives me a place to write that. For October up here, let's look at what I've done. I've thought I might do in the past. I did something with planned and tickets, financial highlights, focus for that. And then planned tickets, preservation projects, big expenses. I'm not exactly sure how I want to use this space up here yet. So let's leave that kind of blank until I'm ready to use that, until I figure out how I'm going to use it. I think I could probably put in, I think I would like to do finances. So let's put a little header on each of these. Okay, I've got a couple ideas. So we're going to put in big expenses. That's what I want to track for this month. I'm going to put big expenses here. And then here we're going to put quarter for goal progress. I don't know what that's going to look like yet in terms of what's going to go in this little space. But if you were on with me on my recent Plan With Me live, I'm going to actually create 100 tasks that take about 15 minutes that will each work towards one of my goals for the end of the year. And so it'll be nice to have somewhere to kind of record how that progress is coming along. So there will be 31 tasks in this month, and we'll see how many I get done out of 31 maybe, and maybe it'll just be out of 31. But we'll see how that goes. So anyway, this is how I am planning in the just Scribble planners. So we have this page where I'm breaking down my YouTube, and I could put on here that that's what this is. Even though I kind of know right now, I might look back on this later and be like, what is this? You know, several years from now. So there we go. That is YouTube. And then we move into here and we have our month layout. Again, if you do not have kits and those kind of things, that's okay. A couple little bits of washi, or even, you know, drawings, or just using a colored marker, something like that, can make this look really nice and easy to use. So hopefully you enjoyed coming along with me on planning October. Again, I'm sorry we didn't go in the B6 Sterling ink, but like I said, I really do have a lot of October already figured out in here. So I will just kind of be moving what we did in here also over into here. And so I don't think that it would be that interesting to do this one because we'd be already halfway done. So hopefully you enjoyed it with me, and I'm really looking forward to kind of spooky purpley season. Purple being my favorite color. I'm always excited when I have a season like October for me, when I get to use a lot of these kind of witchy Halloweeny washies, and they're all kind of purple themed. So I get to use a lot of purple during the month, and I really, really enjoy that. So thank you for planning with me, and I will see you guys soon.